That issue also at the top of the agenda of a meeting between three key members of the Congressional Hispanic Caucus and President Obama yesterday. They talked about what's called the DREAM Act. That's a measure saying that illegal immigrants who came here before age 16, who sign up for the armed services or spend 2 years at the university level, should be given automatic citizenship, and it is being pushed as of late by Senator Harry Reid. One of the trio who went to the White House is Congressman Luis Gutierrez. He's my guest now. Congressman, thanks so much for being here. So the reports were that you emerged happy from the White House yesterday. Why?
Just as happy as I am to be with you, Megyn. It was a wonderful meeting. The president said he's going to put the full force and energy and commit the resources of the White House to getting this done next week. And we know that Senator Harry Reid says he's putting it on the schedule with the Department of Defense bill. And let's face it, Dick Durbin, my senator from my state, the senior senator from the state of Illinois, is the chief sponsor of the bill. So I think we've got a good trio out there. Now we need to go back and build that kind of bipartisan support that the DREAM Act has always had. It's had 11 Republican co-sponsors in the past, and many that have voted in the past have had votes for cloture in order to allow a vote on the DREAM Act. So
and yet
it's not a measure that is new.
And yet it's never gotten through. And now even so far, since Harry Reid pushed it, Republicans have come out and said, I don't know, and Harry Reid said, I don't know if I have the votes in the Senate.
Okay, but can I just, in 2006, there was a separate vote. Remember, in 2006, we actually got comprehensive immigration reform. Thanks to President George Bush and his leadership, we got comprehensive immigration reform passed in the Senate, and there was a separate vote on the DREAM Act. So it did pass the Senate. It failed because the House never took up the measure. In 2007, there was a separate vote for cloture in order to allow a vote on the DREAM Act. Again, it passed. So on 2 different occasions, it has passed the Senate. And that's all we're asking it to do.
It's not law, is my
again.
point. That's the only point I'm trying to make.
No,
let me ask you
Megyn,
this. Let me ask you this, because I want you to address this. This is the criticism of the bill, of the DREAM Act. You know, because I think even people who are really, really against illegal immigration have more empathy for kids who were brought here through no choice of their own by their parents, who are illegals because their parents made a decision that the kids had nothing to do with. So now they find themselves in this country, and you're looking for a way to help them become citizens and saying they've got to earn it in part by college or military service. So the criticism from the other side is that encourages more illegal immigration, that's sort of a form of amnesty, whatever you want to call it, but basically it rewards bad behavior, not so much by the kids, but by the parents. Your response?
You know what? Children are not responsible for the actions of their parents, of adults. So it's very hard for me to answer that question, Megyn, because they're just not responsible.
But
so
I know. I think I started with that premise, you know. But the critics on the other side say, but those parents are responsible, and if you reward their bad behavior, then more will do it.
And let me tell you why I think it's a good idea, because these kids do come, as you suggest, young. They're Americans in all but paper. They're the class valedictorians. They're going on to college. They want to commit to service to our nation in the armed forces. You know, we pay property taxes and we pay all kinds of taxes, right? Income taxes.
We pay
it. You name it, we pay it. You know what? They want, and they want to pay that ultimate tax, the tax of their blood and their limb and their life on a battlefield for this country.
I got you.
They want to pay that tax to this country.
Can I ask you one question,
so why don't we allow them?
Sure. All right, here's my other question, because they said the other thing you guys talked about at the White House was the 400,000 deportations occurring each year, and this is from your office, this is a press release from you, and, quote, the need to concentrate on only serious violent criminals. At least half of those deportations are non-criminals and are splitting families apart. And, you know, the response from the other side is they may be splitting families apart, but that is not the fault of the U.S. government or of Americans. It is the fault of the illegals who chose to break the law and come here.
I think that what we have is 4 million American citizen children. There are 4 million of them in America whose parents are undocumented. And I think we should focus on criminals, on drug dealers, on gang members, on rapists, on people who come here to do harm. And we should try to resolve our immigration system and have families and the integrity of the family as a cornerstone of any comprehensive immigration reform.
If I come here illegally with my 3 children, I am assuming the risk of our family being split apart. I'm assuming that risk. Of course, I could take us all back to Mexico and keep my family together, but why should the American people be saddled with the tax burdens and every other burden that comes from supporting illegal immigrants who did break the law to keep the family together when those parents chose to break that law?
Well, it's not only going back to Mexico, but to Poland and to Ireland and parts of Africa and Asia. We have millions of undocumented workers in this country that don't come from Latin America. But you're right. We want all of those children to be able to stay together. Look, our immigration system is broken. Everyone has made a commitment. I mean, radicals like Lindsey Graham and John McCain and Brownback and many Republicans have already voted for comprehensive immigration reform in 2006 and in 2007. President George Bush thought it was so important, he made it the cornerstone of his last 2 years of his presidency. Look, there's bipartisan support. We can find a way that we don't have to kind of beat up little kids and allow American citizen children to have their mom and dad. Let's punish them. Let's punish them in a way that allows their families to stay together. Megyn, it's good to be with you. I never change the channel when you're on.
Oh, thank you so much, sir. We appreciate that very much.
All right.
All the best to you.